Hi, SKBloodhound here. Welcome to the channel. First, I want to say a big thank you for clicking the video. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video. As you can see, this would go a long way in helping the channel grow. With that being said, let's get into the details. The subject of this video, as you can tell by the title, is aim assist. Is it overpowered and should it be removed from Apex Legends? The first question is, what is aim assist? The reason why aim assist exists is to support controller players in making their aim better, more so for newer players of a first-person shooter battle royale. However, this only applies to console players, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, etc. Now you might say, oh, what about mouse and keyboard players? Why don't they have aim assist? Well, this is because there is a significant difference between how mouse and keyboard interacts with the mechanics of any battle royale game. MNK players has increasingly more of a linear input, whether it's aiming down sight or hip firing. It is more accurate, simply put. Hence, the old saying, a whole arm gives you more control than a thumb. This is a fact. Now, for those who already know what aim assist is, because you are a controller beast and consistently in top ranks when dealing with specifically, be it Platinum, Diamond, Master, and if you're so lucky enough to be granted access to the exclusive members only Discord for cheaters, maybe you will have reached the infamous Apex Legends Predator rank. But that is a different topic for a whole other video that we will be addressing in the near future. However, when it comes to player rankings within Apex Legends, the truth is skill matters. So the question is, how does aim assist affect your ability to show your true skills within the great battle royale that is Apex Legends? And at this point, I'll add my disclaimer. This is my opinion, you do not have to agree with it. However, whether you do or not agree with it, remember to leave a comment below with your opinion and let the debate begin. Now, when a player is targeting an enemy, aim assist automatically tracks enemies by steadying your aim and keeping the target at the center of your crosshair when and where it can. Notably, this function is not permanent within the game, as it can be turned off within your controller settings. However, it is recommended within the game that you do not disable your aim assist. This is because it's a vital part of the mechanics in how the game works, and without it you are at a slight disadvantage, especially when playing against high skilled players who have mastered the mechanics of the game. For example, top pro players relish aim assist and understands the value of having it within the game. This is why you have pro players like the CEO Imperial Hal of TSM who made the switch to controller from mouse and keyboard. However, there are professional players who continue to use MNK because they have mastered the mechanics and, in my opinion, do not want to sacrifice the freedom that a mouse and keyboard gives when it comes to competing professionally at a high level tournament such as Apex Legends Global Series. As you can see, the majority of professional players that are gaming right now are using mouse and keyboard, so is aim assist necessary? A lot of people will disagree with me when I say yes, it is. However, the majority of Apex Legends players are not ranked grinders and may not care to even compete at a professional level. Now, with that in mind, these players like myself believe that aim assist is balanced and there is no value in fixing something that the majority believe is not broken. And in this set of circumstances, this is where the majority outweighs the minority. Those who are asking, begging and pleading to Respawn and EA to get rid of aim assist, I promise you, this will never happen. Not because I have the inside scoop on what goes on behind the scenes at Respawn or EA, and I have no contact with a dev. It's just simply not practical for aim assist to be removed from the game when the majority of players feel like the game is balanced with aim assist in it. Just for argument's sake, let's just say Respawn and EA has decided to remove aim assist from Apex Legends. And then what? For those that may be happy aim assist was removed from the game, do they believe that all of a sudden they're going to be better than everyone at the game? I'm sorry to say the answer is no. You will not all of a sudden start to climb the ranks, wall bouncing, tap strafing, super jumping your way to the number one predator spot, because the reality is the number one predator does not play like that. What will happen is, for those players that have mastered the game overall will continue to get better, and eventually the ranking system will balance itself out. You will essentially be in the same position you were in, as the highest skilled players will be ahead of you in mastering the mechanics of Apex Legends without aim assist, forcing you to get good. Skill does not always equate to looting and shooting. Intelligence, high awareness, communication, teamwork with good strategy, including what composition of Apex Legends character works well together, are just some of the high values needed. Most importantly, players with good team chemistry regardless of the composition, is able to win matches in Apex Legends and climb the ranking system. With that being said, there are more than one ways to win an Apex Legends ranked match. Yes, you can shoot your way through the lobby, taking on all comers and hope that you don't run into that one sweaty squad that's been sitting in a building the whole game waiting to third. To do that, you would need a computer with significant processing power, internet with super high speed, a monitor with superior refresh rate with a very low ping at very high frames per second FPS, whilst running Apex Legends at the max settings to get the most out of the mechanics. This will cost you a few thousands. The reality is the majority of players within Apex Legends community do not have access to these type of hardware, nor do I believe they will ever be interested in spending thousands to play Apex Legends casually when they can spend a few hundreds on the next generation console and have the same enjoyment. Not everyone is a pro player or even a streamer that has that kind of setup to deliver the best content to their viewers. And even with being a streamer / content creator, you do not need a super setup to deliver amazing content to your viewers. You will need to have to grind, but it's about hard work and dedication. The true fact is, aim assist in Apex Legends is a necessity and will never be overpowered to the point where Respawn or EA will ever consider removing it from the game. Whether it's battling the dreaded stick drifting that is so prominent within controller players, or the inconsistencies that is the delayed input within the mechanics when aiming. Most importantly, aim assist helps newer players of Apex Legends by making them feel comfortable enough with the mechanics of the game without sacrificing their ability to move and shoot, rather than being a stationary target. A new player can enjoy the game whether casually or passively. Apex Legends is an easy to pick up and play battle royale that in my opinion has the best mechanics compared to other battle royale games out there. That call for aim assist to be removed has been heard and has been ignored. In the words of the CEO, the top G of Apex Legends, multiple time ALGS championship winner with his beloved TSM partners playing at the highest level there is, if aim assist is overpowered, just switch to controller. And I would add to that, if you still want to remove aim assist from the game, go within your controller settings and turn it off. Simple. Just don't complain when you see other players using aim assist, because it's your choice at the end of the day. You can always turn it back on. You could also do what I did and consistently adjust your aim sensitivity through the advanced look control ALGS settings until you have found the most comfortable settings for your playstyle. You should also understand that aim assist is not consistent and does not work the same with every weapon within the game. It can vary with every weapon. For me, aim assist seems to be at its strongest when hip firing an SMG like the R99 close range, or most noticeably when using the wingman. For other mid-range and long-range weapons, aim assist does not work as well. This is where ALGS adjustments can be handy, as you are able to refine the controller settings that you desire. You can also use the settings that seems to work for the majority of players, which is a 4-3 linear with a 0 dead zone. This seems to get more of an MNK feel for players who like that type of play. What you should also consider is the types of weapon within the game that are mostly used. Most players tend to stick with either the 30-30 repeater or a longbow, which are all single fire weapons. Others like myself use predominantly mid-range weapons, which are typically burst rifles such as a Hemlock or Nemesis. These types of weapons do not rely on aim assist as much as close-range automatic weapons. Shotguns are not considered. Most close-range weapons are used in early combat or at the end of any game within Apex Legends, where there are a lot of screen clutter that may make it difficult for a player to focus on the target, especially while it's moving across difficult and different terrain within the collection of Apex Legends map. So I'm sorry to say, for those who wanted aim assist to be removed from the game, aim assist is here to stay. There's a valid reason for it, it is balanced, and there is no reason to fix what is not broken.